they disagree with you is an insult to the American people.
Listen, people disagree with me all the time. I have arguments in my agency.
This Senate hearing just turned into a brutal fight over truth, trust, and power.
President Trump, who I don't usually agree with, called COVID vaccines, quote, one of the greatest miracles in the history of modern-day medicine that saved tens of millions of lives worldwide. Scientific community agrees with Trump. Lancet study found that it prevented almost 20 million deaths during their first year of use. Secretary Kennedy, are President Trump and the medical community right, or do you still believe that the COVID vaccine was, quote, the deadliest vaccine ever made?
No, first of all, I didn't say that. Oh, I said that in terms of affairs reports a while ago. I've said today, I think that President Trump should get the Nobel Prize.
So who's right? Is Trump in the medical community right, or are you right?
President Trump did an extraordinary piece of leadership.
Is he right or wrong? Did COVID save millions of lives?
As I said, he got Americans back to work. At that time, that particular vaccine, which perfectly matched the virus that was circulating then, and I have no idea how many lives it saved, but it saved quite a few.
You know, what I find a little bit weird in this discussion, I'm hearing it over and over again this morning, Mr. Chairman, is we've got the entire medical community on one side. You got the AMA representing hundreds of thousands of doctors, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Public Health Association. All of these organizations are telling us that COVID vaccine and vaccines in general are safe and effective. You are casting doubt on that. Who are who are the organizations that are agreeing with you and casting aspersions on vaccines?
The primary advisors are Marty McCary, Jay Bhattacharya, Dr. Oz, Vinay Prasad.
So you got a few doctors who agree with you, and I'm giving you the name.
Not a few doctors. What you're talking about is there's a big difference, Senator, between established science and the scientific establishment, which has been co-opted by the pharmaceutical industry.
So you're telling the American people that the American Medical Association, representing hundreds of thousands of people, have been co-opted and that they should not trust their doctors. And the American Academy of Pediatrics, and by the way, just for the record, every single Republican, I don't mean to be political here, Mr. Chairman, has received PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. Are they all corrupt as well?
And I'm telling you, the American Heart Association has been co-opted by the food
Everybody
industry.
but you, Senator. But you know what? When you ran for president, you know, we have a corrupt campaign finance system. Maybe you will agree with me on that. Okay, you were already president, you got a billionaire behind it. You received $300,000 from people, not from the industry, people in it, as I did, from individuals. You corrupt. President Trump got $3 million. Every Republican got corporate PAC money for the pharmaceutical industry. Democrats as well. Everybody is corrupt, but you? Is that what we're looking at? I don't think so. And I think the issue now...
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, I think you do know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The issue is every time anyone disagrees with you...
Are you saying the pharmaceutical industry was supporting my presidential campaign?
No, I'm saying...
I don't think so.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the pharmaceutical industry is a greedy institution which is charging us the highest prices in the world. They are pervasive. But to suggest that every institution, the AMA, the pediatrics people, is corrupt because they disagree with you is an insult to the American people.
Listen, people disagree with me all the time. I have arguments in my agency, heated arguments every day with Jay Bhattacharya, with Marty McCary, with Dr. Oz.
You have given the names of a few people. I have given you the names of organizations representing hundreds of thousands of doctors and scientists. I yield, Mr. President.
Senator Tillis.
At the center of the discussion is the COVID-19 vaccine and its impact. One side references large-scale scientific conclusions, including studies and public health organizations, arguing that vaccines played a major role in reducing deaths and limiting the severity of the pandemic. The point being made is rooted in population-level data. What happens when millions of people are vaccinated across different countries and time periods? From that perspective, even if there are individual debates or uncertainties, the broader statistical picture is used to support the idea that vaccines were highly effective in saving lives and reducing hospitalizations. On the other side, the argument shifts away from consensus institutions and focuses more on questioning whether those institutions themselves are fully independent or influenced by outside interests. Instead of disputing every data point directly, the emphasis is placed on concerns about pharmaceutical influence, regulatory capture, and whether organizations that are widely cited in public health discussions are truly neutral. This is where the conversation becomes less about a single study and more about trust in medical associations, advisory panels, and long-standing scientific bodies. What makes exchanges like this so intense is that both sides are not just arguing facts, they're operating with different starting assumptions about credibility. One side leans heavily on established institutions like medical associations and peer-reviewed research as the foundation of truth. The other side raises questions about whether those same institutions might have conflicts of interest that are not always visible to the public. Once the disagreement moves into that territory, even agreement on basic data doesn't automatically lead to agreement on interpretation. There is also an underlying tension about what expert consensus actually means. In science and public health, consensus is built over time through repeated studies, peer review, and real-world outcomes. But in political environments, consensus can be viewed with suspicion, especially when policies affect millions of people and involve powerful industries. That creates a situation where the same set of facts can be interpreted very differently depending on how much trust someone places in the institutions presenting them.